Welcome back to my channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So if you guys are looking for the best and most honest how-tos and reviews from a consumer's perspective, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. Lady Gaga's makeup line, Haus Labs, recently came out with a new foundation, and I wanted to test it out today, show you guys what it looks like on the skin, do a little bit of a wear test throughout today and tomorrow, and then I also picked up two other products from them. We have the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, and I have the shade 260 Light Medium Cool. So shade matching for this foundation was quite interesting because Haus Lab actually takes the approach of using the true color wheel, which is more rooted in artistry. They explain this on their website. I'll put up right here what I'm talking about. So essentially, if you're thinking like MAC foundations where it's opposite, like cool is warm and warm is cool type of thing, that's the approach that Haus Lab has decided to take on their foundation. So I actually had a Sephora associate help me out finding my shade, and she was really sweet, very helpful. We swatched about 3 shades or so, and I'll put a little bit of a snippet right here because whenever I got into the car, I kind of looked at all the shades, and you could definitely tell that some of them were way too warm for me, and then the one that I chose, 260, I think is actually a really great match. I'm going to put up on the screen right here so you guys can kind of see the information from the Haus Labs website. There are 51 shades in this new line. It's a medium buildable coverage, and it says it has 20 plus skincare ingredients, including their patent pending ferment arnica. I've only had one experience with arnica gel and arnica as an ingredient using it on my skin, and that was whenever I got filler right before my wedding. I got filler in my chin and my cheeks. My chin ended up bruising a ton, and they told me to pick up some arnica gel because arnica absorbs into the skin and helps with bruising, and it helps with discoloration. So I'm wondering how potent it's going to be in a foundation versus just being like an arnica gel or the ingredient by itself. I mean, I think it's safe to assume that it would take time to see long-term benefits. I probably seem a little low energy today, and it's because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. It seems like the ingredients that they focus on are the patent pending fermented arnica, the bioferment 7 complex, and the IntelliZen 7 complex. And again, you can just pause the video here to kind of read about those things. So the format of this video is going to be trying it on with a brush and then trying it on with a sponge on either side of my face, and then I'm going to do my full face of makeup, check in and show you guys how everything is wearing, and my first impression. I'm gonna do a little bit of a check-in tonight. It's already 6:30 p.m. so probably only in a couple of hours, and then tomorrow I plan on wearing the foundation pretty much all day so I can give you guys more of a thorough idea of what I'm thinking about this foundation, so it's not just like off the cuff. Since it is kind of a more pricey foundation, I want to give you guys as much information as possible. So to get started, I want to put this lip oil on my lips, and you can actually see kind of my lips stained here. It's a little pink because I did put this on right when I got in the car from leaving Sephora, and this is the PhD hybrid lip oil in the shade Tint. I wanted the shade Primary, however they didn't have that, but that's okay. It's a sheer tinted lip oil that delivers lightweight hydration, and it's non-sticky with a cushiony feel. So it says it has a vegan collagen, prickly pear oil, and plant squalane within the ingredients. I think that this is a really lightweight oil. It's fragrance free as well, so you don't have to worry about the fragrance just constantly being up your nose throughout the day. I like the way that it looks. It gives me like a cute pink tint. This is only a fluid ounce, and I say only because the bottle actually is quite large compared to other 1 fluid ounce foundations and skin tints and stuff that I've tried. It is quite a heavy tube here. You can kind of see that the frosted packaging is quite thick on there, but it gives you that nice luxe feeling. Like more expensive foundations, you know, sometimes they are quite heavy in the hand, and this also has that same look and feel. And this foundation does come with a pump, which we all love a good pump because it's more hygienic and it's easier to just dispense the product. I have stains on the back of my hand from when I was swatching the pigments, the high power pigment paints. They don't seem to come off, honestly. I washed my hands quite a few times and it's still there. And while this shade does look quite light on the back of my hand, it kind of oxidizes as it dries down, or maybe it just dries down a little darker. And it seemed to really match the shade of my face compared to the other foundation shades that we tried. This doesn't look too promising on the back of the hand, but I think it's gonna look really great on the face. So I have my Embryolisse cream concentrate, and I'm just gonna use this to moisturize and kind of prime my face. I was thinking of going in with my Say Super Glowy Gel, but I want to see the finish of this foundation at its like true form. So I'm really just going to use this cream to moisturize. I am going to be using this IT Cosmetics Skin Smoothing Complexion Brush in the shade number 704. I'm going to take about half a pump on my finger, and I'm going to just spread this evenly across the left side of my face. I want to kind of like spread it out first, and then I'm going to blend it in with my brush. All right, so this is actually blending out really nicely. It is a little bit light, but we'll see what it looks like once it dries down on the skin. So here is half a pump of foundation on the left side of my face. I think when this dries down, it's actually going to look a lot better, but this is what that coverage is looking like. Definitely a medium coverage. I can still kind of see my freckles here. I have a little bit of like a spot right there that you can see. It did cover up the redness right around my nose, which is really nice, and I was hoping for that. Nothing is looking too accentuated. Nothing is popping out and making me go like, whoa. There aren't any dry spots. It is more on the thicker consistency of medium coverage foundations, so I was a little worried that it was gonna look a little dry on the skin, but it actually looks really nice. I definitely feel like I can layer on a concealer and not have any issues. You can see I have a lot more like freckling and a couple spots here, like acne spots here, and you can see that my face is just a little bit uneven in skin tone, just my natural skin. So now we're gonna go in with a sponge on this side of my face, and again, I'm just gonna go in with half a pump here, maybe a little touch more, because I do tend to use a little more product when I'm using a sponge. That was really easy to blend. I like the way that it's blending into the skin with the sponge. It looks just as hydrated as the brush side, actually. Maybe a little less. I feel like maybe it's soaking up a little bit of that oil in the foundation. I think I need a little bit more foundation on this side with the sponge just to even out my coverage. So I'm gonna do like right there. Blend that out. And I am avoiding the under eye area because I don't like putting foundation and then concealer there. I just like putting concealer. Foundation always applies better on my nose with a sponge. And here's this side applied with this sponge. I think it looks really nice. I think I prefer the sponge, honestly. It really just melted the foundation in a lot quicker than it did with the brush. They both look just as blended in, but with the sponge, I just feel like ease of use, it was a lot easier. Now you can see these spots right here and the freckling right here have been decreased in noticeability. And I feel like as it's drying down, it is starting to get a little bit darker, like dry down to the shade that it was whenever we swatched it on myself in Sephora. I don't think it's overly hydrating. I don't think that it's drying whatsoever. I think this coverage is a very true medium coverage throughout. We'll decide later if we want to powder, but I'm just gonna do all of the creams and like my bases and all that stuff, and I will be right back to show you guys what everything's looking like. All right, I am back. I did my cream bronzer, I did my cream blush, I powdered the face. I ended up powdering it just a little bit, and I used my Laura Mercier loose setting powder, and I also saw a makeup artist on TikTok talking about how you have to layer loose setting powder and press setting powder if you want like your under eyes to stay creaseless. So I used my one size pressed powder in the shade medium 1N. I used a little triangle sponge thingy to just press that in. Hopefully my under eyes stay creaseless. We'll see. I think that the skin is looking quite airbrushed, especially after I powdered it. Before that, it was looking just the same as where I left you guys. It was looking hydrated and nice. Everything was layering really nicely on top of the foundation, giving it a closer look. So I did press in that pressed powder right in this area of my face. I don't know if it's just me, but more often than not, you can definitely see the powder on the skin whenever I use that specific one. So it may be the powder, not quite sure, but it is looking quite cakey right here. And the reason why I'm thinking it's the pressed powder is because up until the point that I used that, it was looking really nice everywhere on the skin. I was really looking at my face and making sure that everything was sitting well. And I honestly think that the foundation itself is doing really nicely. I don't think that it feels heavy on the skin. I think, again, that it's a really good balance of a natural finish with a little bit of hydration. I love that. I think that that makes it more wearable for a lot of people that have different types of skin type. So I did want to show you guys this pigment on camera today, and I have Cocoa Matte. There are a lot of really nice shades, and I didn't really want to do a super bright shade of this. I wanted to do something that I know that I would get good use out of, and I picked up this brown one because I really love brown eyeliner, and I figured this would also serve as a really nice base whenever I do kind of like a more dramatic eye, which I don't do quite often, but I thought that, you know, I would probably get more use out of the black and brown, and I opted for the brown. I wanted to get the rose gold shimmer, but it was out of stock at my Sephora, so I'm just going to use a powder. I guess you can call this a powder. It's kind of like a powder cream hybrid. This is from M Cosmetics, and it is the Cosmic Pearl Dewy Eyeshadow in the shade Wish. I just take my finger because I feel like this blends the best with your fingertip, and then I'm just going to rub this all over my eyelid. I've been really into these one eyeshadow looks and just really messily putting it on the eyelids. Let's go in with this Cocoa Matte pigment. And this is actually what I had swatched right there. I did like a fat swatch at Sephora. And then the Sigma Winged Liner E06 brush. It's a super tiny eyeliner brush, and I really like it. I think it gives me a really nice precise line. Very pigmented, it's not skipping at all. This brown is a little bit more red than I would like. I kind of like more of a darker, like warm brown versus like a reddish brown. I don't think it looks terrible. Wow, that was so easy. Did you guys see that? It took 10 seconds. Let's see if I can do that again. Oop, that's a long wing. That's a long wing. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. I feel like it's gonna be one of those situations where if I keep touching it, it's just gonna get super thick. But let's talk about the formula of this. Okay, I just tried to wipe this off my hand and it's stuck again. So we know it's long wearing. This wing, sharp. It's not even. Let's get that out of the way. It really was a swipe and it was good to go. I love that. I think that that is so fun and so easy. So I'm just gonna finish putting mascara on, and then we will come back with my final first thoughts. Alrighty guys, I am back. Full face is done. This is what everything is looking like. I did do a little bit of a spritz of setting spray. I have my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray here. Pretty much everything that I tried, all three things that I've tried from Haus Labs so far, I really like. I think they're super pigmented in their own sense, you know? So my first impression overall of this foundation, the skin is looking really nice. I think that the formulation and the finish of this foundation would work for a lot of different skin types because, again, it is hydrating, but it's not overly hydrating and it's not drying whatsoever from what I can tell. I think the biggest thing is just the shade matching. So I would recommend, if you're not quite amazing with your shade match online, I would go into stores and swatch a couple, maybe have someone help you out, because it is a little bit different than your typical shade matching with other brands, you know, because again, they are using that true tone color wheel. And I can't wait to check in to kind of give you guys an idea of like how it's wearing throughout the day. I'm very curious as well. And again, I am going to be wearing this all day tomorrow because it is about 7:30 now. It took me a while to do my makeup. So yeah, first impression, really good. Is it blowing me out of the water? Not quite. For $45, I'm kind of like, okay, this is nice, you know, but we'll see how it goes. Hi everyone, so I am back. It has been 4 hours now and it's 11:30 at night, and I have gotten progressively worse with this cold. I'm getting really stuffy and I've been blowing my nose. Like you can see the redness right there a little bit. But let's look at the rest of the face. Let me talk you guys through everything. Everything is sitting really nicely. Those spots like right here that were kind of like powdery have kind of like calmed down just a little bit, but you can still see that everything kind of looks the same essentially. So, you know, it still looks a little powdery right there. My nose is a little red right here because I've been blowing my nose for the last like 2 hours or so. But I mean, everything else like right around here and here. Looks really good. I'm fairly impressed. I think that tomorrow when I wear it, I want to try leaving it and not setting it with any powder. Maybe just like the under eyes, maybe a little on the T-zone. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Hopefully I am feeling up to filming the rest of this video tomorrow. But that is my check-in for tonight. Hey guys, I'm back. It's the next morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and I just finished my skincare about 20 minutes ago, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a full face on before I have to leave the house to do a couple of errands. And I'm gonna be using all of the same Haus Labs products that I used yesterday. So my lips actually felt super soft yesterday. I'm not sure if it's because of the lip oil or because of the Summer Fridays Butter Balm. This was a lip color that I used on top with my finished makeup look, but the lip oil was the base. So I don't quite know exactly. All I know is that my lips felt really nice, and I also used this lip oil before bed, and my lips feel really great. Sometimes lip oils can just coat the top of the lips and then the bottom gets all crusty and flaky, but that didn't happen with this one, which I was really happy about. I think I do want to go in with the Say Glowy Gel, but only like as highlights. So right here on the high points of my cheek, and then probably just forehead and chin like that. And then that's all I'm gonna do. The rest of my face feels really nice and fresh and moisturized, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I actually don't feel as bad as I thought I would sickness-wise today, so I am very pleased with that. Hopefully I can keep up with my like water intake throughout the day, but I'm just gonna dot this all along, and I am going to be using my sponge this time for the whole face because I really liked the way that it looked and applied that way yesterday. So taking my sponge, and I did clean it last night. I am proud of myself. Yeah, I love the way that it just finishes the face so quickly and it blends really easily. I can't get over how easy this blends and how quickly it blends into the skin. I do have a little bit of redness still here peeking through, but overall my complexion looks even in tone. It looks really nice and hydrated, and it doesn't feel greasy. I think that this foundation really shines in the fact that it doesn't feel like slimy. Oh, is that the right term to use? I don't know. It doesn't feel like a film, like a greasy film on the face. I am going to dot just a little bit more on some spots that I want to cover up. For the majority of the rest of that redness, I am going to go in with a concealer. I usually have problems with foundation on my nose, so I try to keep it to where the concealer is the main thing on there. But this is looking pretty nice, like it's not really clinging anywhere. Okay, leaving the foundation there, I'm gonna do my concealer, my blush, my bronzer, everything that I did last time except for the powder. I'm probably gonna leave the powder, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm gonna go do all of that stuff and I'll be right back. All right, so here is the final face. And I did end up setting my T-zone with just a little bit of Laura Mercier loose setting powder. I didn't go in with the press setting powder this time. I'm just using the excess from this brush. I don't know if it's coming off on camera. It looks like it's coming off a little shinier on camera than it is in person. I think that this actually gives you a really natural finish in person. If you are super oily and you get oily throughout the day, I'd say your best bet is probably to set it, whether it's with a loose powder or a pressed powder. But if you are really dry or just like normal to dry, I think maybe you could get away with not powdering this, maybe just doing the under eyes, maybe the T-zone like I did today. The more I'm looking at it in the viewfinder, the more I want to put a little bit of setting powder. So I am gonna go in with that same brush, tap off most of it, and I'm just gonna go in with as light of a hand as possible. I'm just gonna mattify the skin a tad, just because I know that my skin throughout the day likes to get shiny. So I wanna make sure that I kind of like keep it to this. Like I like how this is looking, so I wanna get it to a point where I know my skin will stay looking like that throughout the day. And let me just take a little bit of setting powder or spray. Oh, I also want to mention that I use this new Tower 28 Make Waves mascara, Maybelline Full and Soft with the Tower 28 mascara, and so far I'm really liking it. It really defines my lashes and gives it like really good volume. I think I'm just gonna leave the lip oil, like I'm gonna use the lip oil throughout the day, and maybe that'll be all I do. And we're just gonna do check-ins throughout the day to see how this does. Hey guys, it's about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, so it's been roughly 4.5 hours now since I've put this face of makeup on, and right off the bat, I'm really loving the way that this is looking. I will insert a clip here of the foundation and my complexion in natural light. I took it about like 20 minutes or so ago, and in natural light, you can really see that the skin is just thriving. It looks so perfected. It looks like actual skin. It doesn't look like I have any foundation on. I have a little bit of glow going on my forehead, but it looks really, really nice in person. It's kind of like pretty much the way that I want my foundation to look. So how I was saying earlier when I was applying it, I was saying that I liked the natural finish of it right off the bat and I wanted it to keep it like that. Well, this is what I was like envisioning. This is what I want the complexion to look like. I've been looking at this really closely and I do have a little bit of a dry spot here right under my nose. That was a scab from a pimple that I picked. And because I've been blowing my nose throughout the day, it's kind of like dried out. But other than that, it looks really good. Again, I'm seeing on the nose, even though I've been blowing my nose, there's no super noticeable sign of demarcation there where I've been blowing my nose. I feel like it has faded really nicely on there. I honestly can't even tell where the foundation starts and where it ends on my nose, which I think is a really good sign. Again, I'm a little bit red right here because pretty much the foundation there has come off because I've been blowing my nose. So kind of the nature of it, but if I weren't, I'm pretty sure it would be staying put because everywhere else on the skin, everything has been staying put. I think that my cream bronzer, my cream contour is actually staying really nicely layered on top of this foundation. In the viewfinder right now, it does look a little bit more oily, but in person, I like it. I think it's like all the studio lights that I have going on right now. I'm not kidding when I say that this almost looks like skin. I can't, like, there's no obvious signs that this is foundation. Sometimes you can see, because of the soap that I use in my brows, you can kind of see the foundation like pill in this area once in a while. Not enough to where it bothers me. You can't even tell unless you're like this close to my face, but it's not even doing that. It's actually settled into the skin so beautifully. So far, it's doing really good. All right, guys, this is going to be the last check-in for the day and for this video. It's been 6 hours. It's 9 p.m. right now, and this is what the face is looking like. No touch-ups whatsoever. I haven't repowdered. I haven't blotted anything. This is what the foundation is looking like. I'll give you guys a little bit of a close-up and just like a look at both sides of the face here. So I do have a little bit of splotching here with my contour because I ended up like resting my head in my hands like this while I was working and I kind of forgot. But other than that, I mean, this side looks flawless, okay? So as you can see, I do have a lot more shine going on here on my forehead, but in person, again, I feel like it's a little bit more toned down than it is with the studio lights. There's no foundation here anymore because I've just been blowing my nose all day, but truly, this foundation has sat on the skin so well all day. I have no complaints. I truly don't. And I think that I really, really love the balance of the finish of this. I would say that this is probably one of the most natural looking finishes where it doesn't change the way that my like natural skin sits. A lot of foundations that I really love like either add glowiness or like add a little mattifying to it, but honestly this kind of just like worked with how my skin already looks. So I think that's why I'm really, really enjoying the finish of this because it just looks so youthful and it also just looks like my natural skin. The color is still really nice on my skin, and I still do think that maybe if you're unsure about your shade, get somebody to help you out and figure out what your perfect shade might be. So I like both of these. The lip oil to start off, it didn't really stay on the lips for a long time because it is a lightweight oil and it's not sticky or anything. It's definitely a true oil. Because of that, it did fade quite quickly. I would say within the hour or two that I was wearing it, probably closer to like an hour, I would have to reapply it. But Also, side note, I was blowing my nose all day. Like, I had a tissue up to my face, so it could have been rubbed off. I do know that this lip oil, compared to others, like the Jaclyn Cosmetics one, it does fade a little bit faster, but I do like it. I don't know how to feel yet about how pink it gets once it settles onto my lips. I like it when it's first applied, and then when I'm kind of like looking at it after a while, it's very, very pink. This again is in Cocoa Matte. I like this. As you can see, it's still on this side, on my right eye, but it kind of has faded on my left side, and that is because at some point today, my eye started itching, and I just started rubbing at it, and I completely forgot that I was wearing makeup. I think because like everything I'm wearing today is so lightweight. So yeah, I like rubbed at it like pretty hard, and then I was like, oh wait, I have makeup on. And then I looked at my finger and it was like slightly faded, and I'm actually really surprised that there's even any pigment there still, because I like went at it. That is a testament to how well it stays. At least whenever I had it swatched on my hand, like I put it right here when I was doing my makeup today, and you can still kind of see that little dot of brown. I was reading more on some of the colors on their website, and there are, I think, 4 shades that they don't recommend that you use on the eyes. I always think it's really interesting when brands have advertisements for pigments or eyeshadows even, and then they say don't use these on the eyes. You can use it on your body, you can use it on your face, you know, but there are a couple that they don't intend for the eyes. Out of the 3 products, my favorite product definitely has to be the foundation, followed by the lip oil, and then the pigment. I am really excited about this brand. I think that they have a lot of good core products, and I'm excited to see what else they come out with. Even though it's a little more on the pricey end, I can definitely see myself using these, picking these up, especially the lip oil. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna have this with me at all times, just like reapplying all day. Okay guys, that was everything for this video. I hope that you liked it. I hope you found it informative. Let me know if you are planning to pick up this foundation or any products from the Haus Labs line. And if you liked this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.